Well, we trust you're doing well and you're having a good week so far. My name is Gloria Mutesi.
And I'm Jane Mutoni.
Jane, what's new today? How is your week going so far?
I think I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to be co-anchoring with you today again.
Yes.
Well, starting us off tonight, the Rwanda Public Procurement Authority has announced that by the end of June this year, its e-procurement system will have been merged with its digital payment system for contractors. This is meant to address problems when it comes to public tenders, and the law governing such tenders is also to be amended. Sessionary starts us off tonight with this story.
The IT company Algorithm Incorporated is the creator of the Ishiga platform that is used for digital service provision, and the company is a pioneer in locally produced software. The fact is, you can do nothing to alter any software if you don't have the original developers with you. If your software is being monitored by someone in France, then that person will dictate to you how to use it and force you to apply laws from France. It doesn't matter if you have better laws here. That is the way it is going to be. By following those rules, you soon find you have none of your own to use even if you wanted to. We believe we have made good progress in addressing this problem, but we still have a long way to achieve 100% of our objectives. Rwanda's public tender law requires that local companies be given priority over foreign ones, but does not provide any measures to be implemented when that is not respected, something the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee in the Chamber of Deputies has pointed out. The law also requires that upon winning a tender, contractors are to be paid within 45 days, again something that is rarely done on time. The biggest problem stems from those issuing the tenders doing so without first properly budgeting for them. One of the consequences is that the contractors are not paid on time. This should be done properly before tenders are issued. There is also the matter of feasibility studies. It always turns out that more work arises when the implementation phase of the project arrives that had previously not been planned for, simply because the feasibility study was not done on time and the budget required then swells up. That extra money needed is what ends up missing. Contractors are not paid on time, end up borrowing from financial institutions just to complete the project, and then start lamenting over loan fines imposed when they pay back the money late, incurring losses. The Public Accounts Committee presented its report to the General Assembly in the Chamber of Deputies, drawing reactions from the parliamentarians.
The part where they claim that contractors do not show their operational bills, do not believe that is true. There is no way you can ask to be paid only to fail to produce your operational bill. Honorable Speaker, I therefore believe more effort needs to be made so that this problem affecting contractors is resolved. Concerning the 3 months period that has been given over these resolutions that were presented to the Honorable Prime Minister, consolidating all these issues, I really do not think it is realistic. I therefore ask the committee accept that each resolution be allocated its own time frame of implementation, especially the one to do with amending the law, taking into account how long it takes to amend any law.
The Rwanda Public Procurement Authority has announced that by the end of June this year, its e-procurement system will be merged with its digital payment system for contractors, addressing these issues permanently.
Isoko rizajya riba rihujwe na budget yaryo rihuzwe na invoice yatanzwe.
A tender will be linked to its budget and invoice. That way, those responsible will be able to track invoices and ascertain why that 45-day period was exceeded, especially when the budget was available. That way, employee failure or misbehaving will be identified. Then, there are cases we hear of when institutions issue tenders when the budget for the projects is insufficient. That may lead to contractors not getting all their money, and that too will be reduced because when those systems are merged, we want to do it in such a way that a person cannot issue a tender they do not have a budget for or sign any agreements. If there are agreements, people will be able to ask for a budget revision so that will enable them to get the money they need to pay.
The RPPA says a survey done in 1,187 institutions last year found that 831 were found to issue tenders for things that are produced right here in Rwanda, and 698 institutions give priority to local companies at a rate of 83.9%.
Well, Jen, are you a hoarder?
No.
Do you know, it's interesting that some of us tend to hold on to certain things, yet in the long run, they cost us much more. For instance, did you know older appliances cost more electricity than the new ones?
Actually, interestingly, I didn't know about that, but the Rwanda Environment Management Authority reports that about 75% of the refrigerators used in Rwanda are so old that they use excessive electricity, which damages the environment. This is why the authority is urging Rwandans to use more modern appliances that save electricity. Umari Jed has more on that story.
It has been 5 years since 200 countries ratified agreements that are expected to help the Earth reduce temperatures by 0.25 degrees Celsius, something that must be achieved before the end of the 21st century. Rwanda was the 39th country to ratify the agreement known as the Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol. As part of its implementation, Rwanda has put in place a comprehensive strategy for the use of refrigeration equipment and the inputs of the building. The amendment to the agreement was signed in 2016 in Kigali, Rwanda. Recent studies show that there are more than 87,500 refrigerators in Rwanda, but the worry is that 64,505 of them are old, leading to waste of electricity worth at least 4 billion Rwanda francs, which means an additional 2.4 billion Rwanda francs lost. Sengiyumva Jean Paul, owner of Cold Air Limited, argues that chemical or gas-based devices that use solar or ozone filters assist in using less gas and electricity.
R600 gas is methane, which does not pollute the atmosphere and is friend of ozone solar filter. That is to say, in the refrigerator, for example, if there was a place where you used to cut off gas and you use 200 grams when you send R600, you could use 80 grams. At that point, if the compressor console probably has 0.8 AMP, it can use maybe 0.5 because it does not work at high intensity. You will feel it reduce and the fire decreases. Those are the benefits.
According to traders, the ban prevents some equipment from entering the country. In the case of refrigerators, we have got to think, because our refrigerators use approved gas, which is R600A. In terms of air conditioners, we have those that use R410A, and they too will rarely be removed from the market. For the rest, we will request for permission from RIMA.
For air conditioners, it is R410, and for refrigerator, it is R600, which is what we are importing. But before R22 and R12 came and not allowed into the country, now no one is bringing them to us in Akagera, and we are not bringing them too. But there are others who often build their own floors, and you find they have gone to bring R22 to reach Majerwa, which is not allowed to enter Rwanda.
It has been a 10-year effort, according to Martin Uwera, an employee in charge of implementing the Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol Agreement at RIMA. She also said Rwanda has reduced its emissions by 54%.
Kugeza kuri uyu munsi u Rwanda rumaze kugabanya
To date, Rwanda has reduced 54% of the base emissions we had in 2010 to agree to the start of the fight to reduce those 8 CFCs. That is, at the time, we had a baseline of 4.1 tons of those gases, but now we have reached an average of 1.2. In collaboration with the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, through the United for Efficiency Program, Rwanda Environment Management Authority has launched a campaign to sensitize Rwandans to the use of electrical saving refrigeration equipment. The campaign is part of the Rwanda Cooling Initiative program, which aims to implement refrigeration and environmental conservation programs. Umngari Jade, RTV News.
Thanks very much, Umngari Jade. Now away from Kigali, during the burial of the late Father Ubald Rugirangoga, which took place on Tuesday, residents in Rusizi district say they shall uphold the values and principles which he portrayed during his lifetime. The leadership of the Catholic Church says that they will ask that the late Father Ubald be added onto the list of saints, although it might take some time.
During the burial of late Father Ubald Rugirangoga that took place at a hill named Ibanga Ryamahoro in Guhendwe sector, many people expressed their sad emotions through testimonies of his good deeds. The sacrifice of Mass was performed at the Catholic Church constructed on the hill. Many of those that were present included nuns and other people like Kanyindi Consolata, who testified to have stayed with late Father Ubald for 10 years while he was still a priest at Mushaka Catholic Church. Based on the good testimonies about late Father Ubald, Mukansanza Waganwa Arivera believes that he should be added onto the list of saints so that Rwandans can pray through him like they pray through other saints. I believe people will come from all walks of life to come and make pilgrim here because I believe that he is a saint and he will intercede for us. He will be remembered by his messages of love, unity and value for humanity, that we are all created in the image of God. The farewell Mass for late Father Ubald was presided over by Bishop Celeste Hakizimana from Gikongoro District, together with Bishop Harorimana Vincent from Ruhengeri District, and the recently appointed Bishop Sinayobye Edward from Cyangugu District. Bishop Hakizimana Celeste says Christians and people in general should learn from the values that late Father Ubald Rugirangoga portrayed, including selflessness, forgiveness, and others. He also says they will ask that the late Father Ubald be added onto the list of saints, although it might take some time.
He was courageous, passionate, and kind through everything he did. These are values that people should uphold, most especially the youth. We are requesting that the late Father Ubald be added on the list of saints, although it might take some time because there are steps and channels that it should go through, but we shall keep requesting.
At exactly 1 p.m., the coffin of late Father Ubald was lowered in a tomb right next to the Catholic Church located at the hill named Ibanga Ryamahoro. He was buried with honor as his fellow priests were carrying his coffin. The mayor of Rusizi District, Kayumba Ephraim, who was also present, said the unity and solidarity that was shown during the late Father Ubald's burial shall forever be remembered.
It is a sorrowful day for all Rwandans. He will always be remembered for his good deeds and his program of promoting unity and reconciliation.
Late Father Ubald was born in May 1956 in Nyamasheke District, Ruharambuga sector. He passed away in January 7th, 2021 due to some sickness while he was preaching in the United States of America. In 2015, Father Ubald was presented with an award as a protector of the covenant, or Umurinzi w'Igihango, for his role in launching the Unity and Reconciliation program at the Mushaka Parish. It is a program where the perpetrators of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi apologized to those who were wronged to promote unity and reconciliation. This program began at the Mushaka Parish and had extended to other parishes where more than 300 families in Cyangugu District reconciled. Late Father Ubald was also known for praying for the sick and they could heal. Well, may his soul rest in peace.
Absolutely. Indeed, it's a sad day today, but the Lord gives and takes away, and we just have to rejoice because He knows He has the plan.
Yes.
Over to you now. What do you have next?
Well, the Supreme Court has relocated to a new building in Kachiru in Kigali City from Kimihurura, where it had been operating from for years. A commercial building is set to be constructed at the old location as part of the Kigali Master Plan. Gabi Muvunyi has more on this report.
This new building, formerly the Ministry of Justice, now houses the Supreme Court, the High Court, the National Public Prosecution Authority, the Court of Appeals, and the Registrar of the Courts. All these services have been relocated to the new building that is 1 kilometer away from where they used to operate from. The judicial spokesperson Harrison Mutabazi says with the exception of the services provided in Kimihurura, the other services have been relocated and will continue providing services as usual.
This new building is next to the hotel called Ninzi. Sometimes we find that people still come to the courtrooms here even though we moved them to Kachiru. In general, the office of the judge and registrar of the courts have all been moved there, so there is no problem.
According to the master plan, this building was built on 2 hectares and 600 square kilometers that was meant for commercial trade and building of a hotel. The Rwandan government leased the land for 49 years to a French company called Groupe Duval Great Lakes. The managing director of Duval says there are many plans for this site that will add change to the appearance of Kigali and as well as protect the environment by using environment-friendly equipment.
I would like to thank several institutions in the country like RDB, Minicom and others that invested in this project. This project will consist of a building that has 110 rooms, hotel apartments, conference rooms, as well as big shopping malls with shops of different brands, restaurants as well. We will use solar panels and try to be as eco-friendly as possible. This project will bring a lot of job opportunities into the market.
Construction on the site is expected to begin later this year and end by 2023 with a cost of more than $70 million. Gabi Muvunyi for RTV.
Well, thank you, Gabi Muvunyi, for that story. Well, moving on, some members of the Rwanda Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs in the Private Sector Federation say that the training they received on the use of technology in business has helped them to increase their productivity and reduce the cost they use to incur to deliver their products to clients.
While many sectors of the economy in the country have been devastated by the COVID-19 pandemic, Mukai Senga Marie Olga, a member of the Rwanda Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs affiliated to the Rwanda Private Sector Federation, says women should be helped to cope with the effects of the pandemic, as they were supported in various ways that has helped its members survive in these moments. It took me a while to find out about the chamber, but when I finally got to know about it, it was like a key that unlocked so many opportunities. I didn't know a woman could use e-learning or e-commerce platforms. We wouldn't know information about taxes. Various people would tell you different things, and it would all be confusing. I got knowledge about introducing e-learning to the school, even when schools closed. We were able to continue providing services to our students and parents with teachers because we had been trained. In an interview with Marie-Claire Ingabire, one of the members who sells furniture in Chichiro district, she said that in addition to the fact that technology helped them continue to do business at a time when the pandemic had halted so many things, it also reduced the cost of delivering goods to different parts of the country and abroad. They trained us before I had a website or even social media platforms, but after the training, I set up social media sites on Twitter and YouTube, and I've seen results slowly. There are some clients that saw my work online and bought things from me, instead of me having had to go to Gisenyi to explain to them, or even set up another branch which would be more expensive. E-commerce helped me link up with these customers and more. We also visited Claudine Nyirandanjimana, the principal of La Divine School in Busanza, and she told us that through technology they've continued to offer services to students at home so they don't lose out on the school year. We did our best and helped them so they wouldn't close their businesses. We launched what we called the business clinic, and they learned how to continue with their businesses. We also trained them in terms of taxation so that they don't incur losses and that people would be able to pay taxes through the use of technology. Access to finance has been a challenge for a while, so as the Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs, we put in effort and we've trained a number of women so far to oversee their projects. Various surveys based on research show that the number of women entrepreneurs is increasing, but there's still a gap in terms of holding top positions in the private sector compared to the public sector. The World Bank reports that the COVID-19 pandemic has severely affected business women, including many small and medium-sized businesses, including cross-border trade. Well, on behalf of the entire news production team, thanks for your company tonight as always. Yes. Continue to stay safe and wear your face mask and practice all that is required of you to stop the spread of the pandemic.
That's
Otherwise,
right.
God bless you and keep you. And until next time, I'm Gloria Mutesi.
And I'm Jane Mutoni.
Bye for now.